the channel. So we've got the excavator back going. We got a hose made for it. Got it put back on yesterday. It was a little cold to work yesterday, so we just went back to the shop. So we needed our 621 case payloader with the grapples on it for the next project. So we decided to bring it in the shop yesterday morning to go over it real good and make sure that it was ready to go, because it's been a while since we've had to use it. Well, I was under it checking the U-joints. It's got a short drive shaft in the back that runs the rear axle from the transmission, and it's got a longer drive shaft in the front that goes through the articulation of the loader and to the front axle. So there's like 3 U-joints in the front, and there's 2 U-joints in the back. Well, the 2 U-joints in the back were bad. So while one of the 2 were bad, was real bad, and the other one was iffy. So we decided to tear it apart. Well, we realized the front drive shaft that's forward of the articulation, it has a carrier bearing in it. It's a cast iron block with a 2-inch bearing in it, and a 2-inch shaft size, I should say. 4-bolt flange block, cast iron. So that bearing was out. It was real bad. It was spinning in the cast holder. So we thought we came up with the proper number for that bearing. We went to Napa. They ordered us one. Well, when it came, it was not the right cast iron block for the bearing to be in. It was too big. It didn't match our bolt pattern. So we realized this morning when it came in. So Dad's like, you know what? We're going to go down to Rife's Farm Supply in Winnemac, down to Jeff. And as you've known from videos before, I've talked a lot about getting bearings and sprockets and hubs and stuff from Jeff. Well, wouldn't you know it, a very uncommon bearing holder, Jeff had 2 of them sitting on the shelf. So the interesting thing is, while Dad was in there getting a bearing, Jeff told Dad, he's like, your son's YouTube really works, because he said, I had guys come from an hour and a half south to me to get bearings, because they said that they had seen him on YouTube and heard them talk about Rice Farm Supply, and they had a bearing they couldn't come up with, and he said they come down here and I had it on the shelf. Now that makes me feel good. You know, it makes me feel good that, you know, that people are watching my channel and they're supporting the businesses that I support. So whoever it was that went and got the bearing, thank you for doing that, and thank you for mentioning me. I really appreciate that. So makes me feel good. So anyways, what we're going to do today is we're going to finish cleaning this brush out of this ditch. Kind of not having that hose put me behind. I would have had all this done the other day when that hose originally blew out, but here we are, we're getting her done. So I'm going to get this cleaned out, and I'm going to switch to my bucket, and we'll get this section dug, and we'll get out of here. Next project we're going to, we'll have the filler buncher on, and we're going to have the big loader with the grapples on it, because it's good firm ground, and it's going to be a lot of material to carry with Bobcat, and that's what we have the big loader for. So we'll get moved over there probably, it's probably looking like Friday probably, because they're calling for 6 inches of snow, so that'll probably slow us down a little bit. We'll see what happens. It is cold out today. I was really worried that we were going to have issues with frozen tracks and stuff, but everything started up, everything moved, so I'm happy. But anyways, let me get this brush cleaned up, and we'll switch to the ditching bucket, and we'll do some digging in this ditch. Dad's supposed to be when Dad gets here, he's supposed to go around, and he's going to start on the section of ditch on this project that runs east and west, or west and east, however you want to look at it. He's going to start that section, and that'll bring him up to this corner down here. He'll be on the other side, and then I'm going to dig from this corner on around to where he left off in the corner over to the the south of me right now. Well, southeast of me, I should say. So I got a few more trees I got to jump across the ditch with a saw and cut off. But other than that, the brush is done once we get this pile burnt. We got a good pile going. So anyways, enough of me rattling on. Thank you for getting that bearing from Jeff. I appreciate that. Thank you for the mention. So let's get some digging done today. Okay, so we got our ditch bucket on. We're going to start digging. So what I'm going to do is, instead of going all the way to the start of the ditch downstream, I'm just going to start right here. And I'll start digging from here, because Dad's not up to that corner anyways. And it really doesn't matter, because I can feel the bottom. So I don't really need to see my fall. And I'll eventually see my fall as I start digging. There's a lot of water in this ditch. I mean, a lot of water. By starting here, we kind of make a little bit of a trap to catch the chunks of wood and stuff from mowing. A little bit of a stump there. So when I come back and start digging from here on, we'll dip those pieces out, and wood chips and stuff, and break it up at the bobcat and get it put to fire. Sand, but it's a little bit sticky. Yeah, edge up a little bit. There we go. Here, look nice. Out. Dad's strength will come back later with the dozer and he'll grade it off real nice and make it look pretty. So now once I get down to the curve, I got to reconstruct that curve a little bit. So I'm going to set the camera up outside so you can get an outside view while I reconstruct that and make it the way it should be. I know a lot of you like the outside view as much as you do the inside view. Okay, so we'll get that video a little bit later on. Well, it's looking really good so far. We're gaining some fall. The water's running off the edge, so that's a good sign. Though we've gained probably 8 inches so far since we've started digging. So that means when we get that other section dug, this will all drain out real nice. So I'm gonna grab my tripod now, and I gotta reconstruct this curve right here. This isn't quite right. It kind of washed too far over that way, so I'm gonna bring it back over this way and make it look good. There was a big stump right there at one time that had pushed this over and made a curve, so I went ahead and I scraped that old stump out and straightened it all out back through there the way it should be. So I'll grab the tripod, get the camera set up, and we'll get some video outside the cabin. That looks a lot better through there now. We don't have it flowing way over there and back around. So I think what actually happened was years ago they let cattle go down through the ditch through this corner right here, and that's what made this corner end up so funky. So we're gonna keep digging now. Looks good, I'm happy with it. So let's see what we can get done. Well, we've gotten to the point to where Dad ended up stopping digging from the south, so from upstream. So we're gonna break it loose and we'll see how much water we get out of there. So remember, he's got like 6,000 feet upstream of where we're at already cleaned. We're downstream of it, so there's a lot of water up there sitting waiting to come down. And there's some of it goes. I don't know if you can see it flowing. It's flowing pretty fast. He was able to come around this curve on the other side and dig quite a bit for me, so I didn't have to dig it. Oh yeah, we got water flowing now. Yeah, you can see it. So I'm gonna let that drain out. I've got a short section up here. This ditch basically makes a T. I don't know if you can see it. Let me adjust the camera a little bit there. So this ditch has a little stub ditch T right here, a little arm. So it goes up there to them trees. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip that real fast so nothing runs down out of that into the new ditch. And then I'll go back through and we'll get all them chunks of wood that are floating down. We'll catch them over by the brush pile. And then I just seen Dad got to the corner at the other end of my section. So I'll go down to that corner and I'll dig back to where we started from. A little bit confusing, isn't it? But it'll all make sense when you see it all done. Okay, so the last section to dig. Dad got up to the corner, and as you can see, he dropped the water tremendously. So that's what we wanted to see. So now when I dig through, it'll release all that water that I've got held up there, and it'll drain out. So that's a nice thing to see. I'm happy because this is all going to get tiled, so that means that we've dropped the water that it should be really possible to tile it and get it to drain. Oh, don't tell me he's going to cross with the 270. Oh boy. I hope he makes it because it is soft down here. Oh no, let's see what happens. Keep going, you're committed now. Not as soft as I would thought it would have been, because that's muck through there. Well, that's nice. Now we don't have to track all the way back around to get hauled out of here. Sweet. Okay. Well, since he's over here, maybe I'll just let him dig it. Now I'll talk to him, see what he wants to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here a little farther where it does get wetter out in the field. You can see where they left the corn. But there's his tracks where he come through. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to dig back. He's actually going to start right there where he came through, and he's going to dig on around to where I left off. So he can actually dig faster than me because he's got a, well, that bucket's like 9'6", so I just call it 10. So he's got the 10-foot bucket, so he can cover more distance than I can quickly. So, but I can go places that are softer because I'm lighter. So that's a 270, this is a 200. So it makes a big difference. Me being lighter, I can go a lot softer places. So we can't dig too close to this pipeline because there is a pipeline, so we're going to let that wash through. So I'm just going to start about right here, away from there right away, and I'm going to start digging back the other way, and that'll wash out. So I might drag them sticks off the top, but the rest of that'll wash out, so we're not worried about that. Well, we're going to probably have to do some hand digging over that pipeline because it's got like some green watercress stuff growing in the mud over the top of it, and I just don't think it's going to wash out. So I dug up to both sides of the pipeline right away and stopped, because it is illegal to dig over the top of a pipeline right away. So that's why I only went to the sides of it. And who knows how deep it is, and I don't even want a chance trying to dig over it, because like I said, it's illegal. So you just don't do it. What I've always wanted to do is I want to set up some kind of like a Vector truck, but a pull type behind a tractor, so I could bring it out here and actually suck the mud off the top, because they allow that around pipelines and utilities. You can actually suck the dirt away, but they don't want you digging around them with machines. So that's what I need to do, build something like that. Because the nice thing about being a pull type behind a tractor is you can pretty much take it anywhere. Where a Vector truck, you're kind of limited to where you can go, because, you know, soft ground and stuff like that. And I think it would be awesome for making tile connections and stuff, because you could use it to suck the water away while you're trying to work, and suck the mud and stuff out of the trench. And I think it'd be a great thing to have. So one of these days, that's one of the builds we're going to build. We're going to build something that we can suck mud up with. It'd be like a gigantic shop vac. My Uncle Jamie has one, actually, has a Vector truck, but like I said, you just can't take it out in the field like this. You'd have to drag it in and out with a dozer, and the problem is it's got stuff under it, like pumps and things, and you don't want to drag them through the mud. So, you know, it kind of needs something that everything's up on top where it's safe. And, you know, who cares if the frame and stuff drags through the mud, as long as you can pull it with a big tractor and away you go. Run it off the PTO, it'd be great. So I got probably, I only got about 100 feet to go, and then I'm done digging. I'm caught up to where Dad started again. I was going to set the camera up outside, but I keep getting gusts of wind, and I'm afraid it's going to blow my tripod over. So I thought, well, we'll just leave the camera inside the hole where it's safe. And it's cold out, so that kind of, it doesn't drain my battery super fast. Not nearly as bad as my iPhone was. iPhones in cold weather, they just don't mix. That's why I went to an Android. The battery in the Samsung phones just seems to take the cold so much better than the iPhones did. So that's one reason I switched, because back when I had my iPhone, if you had it in the front pocket of your bibs and it was 25 degrees out, I mean, it was no time it sucked the battery dead in it. So that's why I like these Android phones now. And plus, I think the Androids have a lot better camera quality. So it's been working out real good for me. But I'm not saying that Apple is a bad phone. I mean, I liked some of the aspects of the Apple phone, but I really like these Galaxy Samsung phones. They say, oh well, the Android system's so much different than the Apple system. No, I don't think it is. You can figure it out rather quickly. It's like running excavators, you know, John Deere style or Cat style. You know, I run all my excavators John Deere style. Run the feller buncher John Deere style. Guys say I'm backwards. Well, it doesn't bother me. I can go from John Deere style to Cat style, and within 5 minutes I'm just as good as running one as I was running the other. Well, we're running out of water here to dig in, because Dad's got all our water trapped up here. Let me get up here and I'll untrap the water and we'll get a video of it. Well, here we go. Last bucket, we're going to turn the water loose. Can you see it? Oh yeah, you can see it. I'd open my windshield, but that wind is just ridiculous across the field across from me. There we go, there goes the water. And it's going to go down to the pipeline and stop. It might build up and wash through it, we'll see, but there goes the water. Nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that go overnight, and then tomorrow we'll come look at it, see how it looks. If there's any imperfections, we'll dip them out. Like right here, I don't like this right here. Go ahead and dip that out a little bit. Much better. If it would just build up and run over there, it'd rinse all that out. So we'll see what happens when Dad gets up to the brush pile where I started. It's what am I trying to say? It's a lot higher up there, so it should bring a lot of water down here and blow that out. So we'll see what happens. Well, there we go. Mother Nature's doing her job. Rinsing that mud away from the pipeline or over the top of it. So we're just gonna let that go overnight, come back, see what it looks like in the morning. At the rate that it's washing it, it should be cleaned out by morning, and we'll just dip downstream of it, clean it up a little bit, and call it good. So won't have to do any shoveling. That's a nice thing. So once Dad broke the water loose up there and it flew down here, went over the top of what water was here already, it just kept on going, washed out all the green stuff, and it was gone. So I wish I'd had a video of it, but I didn't. So I think it's time to go get my truck started, let it warm up. I think it's time to go home, or almost time to go home. Got to go work on the payloader and get it ready. So anyways, if you enjoyed this episode of Dirt Green Steel, give me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.